Good evening, and welcome to the 2026 Greenwich Central School Commencement Ceremony. Class of 2026 President Hudson Logan will now lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Graduating seniors, parents, school board members, honored guests, administrators, friends, family, and those that are joining us remotely. I welcome you to our beautiful auditorium, that's wrong, to our beautiful outdoor football stadium for the 149th commencement exercise of the Greenwich Central School District. As most of you know, we at GCS believe that excellence is our tradition. Our tradition of excellence is based on bedrock principles of hard work, a commitment to do our best, the acceptance of others for who they are, and a love of our community. You, the class of 2026, have earned your place in Greenwich's long tradition of excellence. On behalf of the entire Greenwich Junior Senior High School staff and the entire school district, I thank you for setting an outstanding example for our other students and for continuing the tradition of excellence that our school's core principle. Before I list some of the extraordinary accomplishments, there's another group of amazing people that I want to recognize and thank. This group of people have established our school's reputation as a school of excellence. They come to work committed to inspiring our students to develop and grow into happy, healthy, and well-rounded citizens, capable of succeeding at whatever endeavors they choose to pursue after high school. I'm, of course, speaking of our incredible staff here at GCS. At this time, I ask that everyone here tonight please rise and show your appreciation for our teachers, our counselors, our bus drivers, our custodians, our groundskeepers, our teaching assistants, our aides, and all of the other support staff that have dedicated their professional lives to your children. Thank you for your exemplary service. Every group of graduating seniors can look back on their time at Greenwich and recall the many experiences that made up their journey. I hope that your reflections include many happy and heartwarming memories. Like so many previous graduates, you have established your own incredible legacy. It is defined by both individual achievement and collective excellence. In the end, you are joining the previous 148 graduating classes as one of the most accomplished groups of graduates in our school's proud history. As many of you recall, or you may recall, we began talking about you, about this day, in 7th grade at your orientation. On that evening, you were told that our school system's primary goal was to help you learn and grow and mature into someone that is well prepared for whatever path you want to pursue after graduation. We challenged you to maximize your opportunities while in our school. On behalf of our entire school system, I'm proud to announce here tonight that you've accepted that challenge. As evidence of your success, I'll briefly highlight some of the amazing academic achievements earned by you. 18 of you earned a New York State Regents Diploma. 37 of you earned a New York State Advanced Regents Diploma. 11 of you earned an Advanced Regents Diploma with honors. 7 of you earned a Greenwich Central School District Local Diploma. 1 of you earned a Skills and Achievement Commencement Credential. 4 of you earned a Seal of Biliteracy. 50 of you earned the Seal of Civic Readiness for this year. 15 of you earned a Career and Technical Education Endorsement with your diploma. And 11 of you earned Mastery in Science. 9 of you earned Mastery in Math. Let me be clear, these are amazing academic accomplishments. They are the results of hours and hours of hard work, a dedication to excellence, and the ability to overcome the challenges that pop up along the way. Congratulations on a job well done. But as you know, academic achievements are not the only evidence of your success. Members of your class are amazing artists and musicians. Some of you have won numerous contests at FBLA and at mock trial contests. You've won awards at RPI science fairs and performed in all-county and area all-state music festivals. And of course, members of your class have excelled when competing at FFA contests. Many of you have also dedicated yourselves to various interscholastic athletic teams. During your athletic careers, members of your class competed for New York State championships in football, in girls basketball, and in outdoor track and field. All of you that wore the Greenwich uniform did so with dignity and respect, upholding our school's long tradition of athletic success while setting the bar high for future athletes. This past year, under your leadership, our high school was once again recognized for its students' superior academic performance. This spring, we learned that U.S. News and World Reports ranked your high school in the top 10% nationally. This achievement was earned by a collective commitment to scholarship by you and the professional staff. Academic and/or athletic achievements are not all that define the character and legacy of your class. Your eclectic and diverse talents were constantly on display in all of your varied and very diverse interests. Future classes will do very well if they follow your lead. At this time, I ask everyone in attendance to once again rise and stand and join me in recognizing the hard work, perseverance, dedication, and most importantly, the achievements of the class of 2026. Please be seated. At this point, I want to take a moment to recognize the member of the class of 2026 that has made a commitment to protect our country by joining the nation's armed forces. I can think of no more honorable and courageous endeavor than to protect all the freedoms that we enjoy. I ask that Liam Curley please rise and be recognized. On behalf of our school system and community, I thank you, Liam, for your commitment to serve our country and to protect the freedoms that we all enjoy. God bless. It's now my great pleasure to introduce our first student speaker, Miss Kendall Hamilton.
Good evening, faculty, staff, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2026. First, I want to say what an honor it is to stand here as salutatorian. When I found out I was giving this speech, I was excited. Then I realized it meant speaking in front of hundreds of people. Since then, I've spent weeks preparing, overthinking, and discovering that public speaking is not actually one of my hidden talents. However, I would first like to extend a sincere welcome to everyone who is gathered here to celebrate this milestone. To our parents, guardians, families, friends, teachers, and other supporters, thank you. Your encouragement, sacrifices, and unwavering belief in us help make this day possible. This achievement belongs not only to us, but to all of you as well. Now listen very carefully because I'll only say this once. Dad, you were right. Time does fly. It feels like just yesterday that we walked through GCS high school doors for the first time, trying to find our classrooms, nervous about fitting in, and wondering what high school would be like. What's strange is that 4 years sounded so long when we first started. Back then, graduation felt like something that belonged to older people, something distant, something we would eventually get to, and now it's here, standing right in front of us, almost like it arrived faster than we were ready for. Yet, over the past 4 years, our individual stories have become part of one shared story. The story of the class of 2026. We experienced countless lasts and firsts together. We sat through the same announcements, rushed to finish the same assignments, celebrated the same victories, and faced similar challenges. We cheered for one another at games, performances, competitions, and events. We filled hallways with laughter, classrooms with conversations, and our years here with memories that belong not to one person, but to all of us. What made these years special wasn't any single achievement. It was the people sitting beside us today. It was knowing that every day we were growing, learning, and creating memories together. We may not remember every lesson from every class, but we'll remember the friendships we built, the support we gave each other, and the feeling of being part of something bigger than ourselves. As the class of 2026, we've shared a chapter of life that can never be repeated. Years from now, our paths may look very different, but we will always have this connection. We will always be the class that grew up together, learned together, and reached this moment together. Today is not just the celebration of individual success. It's the celebration of our collective journey, the journey of a class that turned 4 years into a lifetime of memories. But if our journey has taught us anything, it's that we're capable of far more than we realize. The qualities we have gained together at GCS will help carry us forward long after today. As we move forward, I hope we remember that success is not defined solely by awards, titles, or accomplishments. The truth is, nobody here will be remembered because they got one answer wrong on a quiz. Nobody will be remembered for a bad presentation, and nobody will be remembered for accidentally replying all to an email. Hopefully. What people will remember is how you treated others, the friendships you built, the kindness you showed, the times you helped someone when you didn't have to. Those are the things that last. As we leave this chapter behind, we step into a future filled with possibility. Some of us will attend college, some will enter the workforce, join the military, pursue trades, or follow paths that have yet to be fully written. Our destinations may be different, but we all share one thing in common: the opportunity to decide what comes next. So dream boldly, work hard, take risks, learn from failure, celebrate success, and never stop believing in your ability to create a meaningful life. Class of 2026, thank you for the memories, thank you for the lessons, and thank you for being part of this journey. Today, we celebrate everything that we've accomplished. Tomorrow, we start writing the next chapter. And based on what I've seen from this class, it's going to be a pretty interesting story. Thank you.
Thank you, Kendall. It's now my great pleasure to welcome Miss Kate Fowler to the podium to present her address.
Good evening, family, friends, faculty and staff, siblings who were forced to be here, and most importantly, the Greenwich class of 2026. I'm honored to be standing before you tonight as your valedictorian. I'd like to start by thanking everyone who has helped me get to this point. First, my parents for always supporting me from the start. I wouldn't be the person I am today without you. My siblings, Claire and Sam, for forcing me to wake up earlier, even though we were still late to school. And my extended family, my grandparents, aunt and uncles, great aunts, thank you for all your love and encouragement throughout the years. And to my Nana, my biggest fan, thank you for always believing in me. Beyond my family, I'd like to recognize the many people at this school who have guided me along the way. First, I'd like to thank my first bus driver, Mr. White, for making my hour-long bus ride something I'll always remember. He always waves at me whenever I drive past him. To my second bus driver, Mr. Jamie, for being a steady part of so many early mornings and late afternoons throughout the years. To Mrs. Lewis and Mr. Califano, thank you for making middle school something I look forward to daily and your passion for what you do. To Mrs. Keys, thank you for your dedication to teaching and for the genuine care and kindness you've shown your students. And to Mr. Nevins, thank you for encouraging me to think critically and challenge ideas. I hope this speech holds up rhetorically. I'll find out later. When I first found out I had to write this speech, I thought I would have a million things to say. Then I realized I'm supposed to give advice to people the same age as me with essentially the same amount of life experience and not sound like an idiot. So instead of pretending like I know what I'm talking about, I decided to ask people who have been around a little longer than I have. I work at a museum during the summer, and I have all types of interesting people come in of all ages. I decided this past Monday that I was going to ask every person that came in one question. If you could tell your 18-year-old self one thing, what would it be? The first people I asked were a married couple from Florida who had been visiting for the summer. The husband told me, never settle for less, followed by, buy real estate as soon as you can. His wife had a different answer. She said, listen to your parents because they're always right. To which her husband immediately responded, I don't know about that one. I'm not sure about that one either. As I continued asking people, I heard all kinds of answers. A lot of people said to live in the moment and not worry about the future as much. Others said to start investing and planning for the future immediately. Some people wished that they'd played it safer, and others wished they'd taken more risks. It became clear to me that I wasn't going to receive one clear answer, a piece of advice that would somehow make everything make sense. And that's kind of the point. Every person I spoke to had taken a different path in life. They made different mistakes, found different opportunities, and ended up in different places. That's because there isn't one roadmap for life. So to try and give some advice that applies to everyone would be impossible. The truth is, you don't need to have everything figured out to move forward, and you shouldn't think that you have to. It is strange because we've become so used to certainty. We've spent so many years together seeing the same faces in just about every class, playing the same sports with all the same people. There's a sense of community at Greenwich that is unmatched everywhere else. Many of us have known each other since elementary school, some of us since preschool. We've grown up with each other, celebrated victories together, slept through Google Meets together, and spent countless hours together at Greenwich. Whether we realize it or not, there was always something comforting about knowing who would be sitting next to us when we walked into school each morning. But now, for the first time, that certainty is gone. A few months from now, we'll all be heading down different paths. Some of us will go to college, some into the workforce, some into the military, and some still figuring it out. But for the first time in our lives, we won't all be following the same path. And while that is a little bit intimidating, it's also what makes the future so exciting. People always talk about the good old days as if there's something we leave behind, something we don't realize we're living in until it's already over. But as Billy Joel said, the good old days weren't always good, and tomorrow ain't as bad as it seems. High school is not the end, it's just the beginning. The best days are yet to come. A few years ago, many of us weren't sure where we were going to college, what we wanted to study, or what our futures were going to look like. Today, some of us aren't completely sure, myself included. And that's okay, because life isn't something you can fully understand while you're in it. No matter how smart you think you are at a certain time, just remember that 10 years or so, you'll look back at your younger self and laugh at how much you thought you knew. Steve Jobs said something in his Stanford commencement address that really resonated with me. He said, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future." Right now, we are all looking forward, trying to figure out what comes next, making decisions that feel like they define our lives. The truth is, none of us will really understand how the pieces will fit together until we're a little further down the road. So if I leave you with anything, it's this: you really only live once. Take risks, be open to new experiences, say yes to things even when you're not fully sure how they'll go. Don't be afraid to be the dumbest person in the room, because chances are you're probably not. Because the truth is, nobody here has it all figured out. Not the people giving advice, not the people we look up to, and definitely not us. So trust your gut and believe that's what meant for you will happen. And as we all start heading in different directions, just remember we're not really supposed to have it all figured out yet. So class of 2026, I'm grateful for everything we've shared here, and I hope many of our paths will cross again down the road. Thank you.
Thank you. It's now my honor to introduce today's guest speaker, Mr. Michael Conlon. Mr. Conlon graduated from the Greenwich Central School System in 1993, where he was an excellent student and standout athlete. Mr. Conlon currently serves as Senior Communications Manager for KeyBank, where he oversees communications across KeyBank's East region and the corporation's commercial banking operations. In the early 2000s, Mr. Conlon helped launch Key for Women pilot program, which has grown into a national initiative supporting women in business. He also has his own marketing consulting company through which he helps businesses of all sizes across a range of industries define, develop, and grow their brand. Mr. Conlon is also a proud and active member of our community. He served on the Greenwich Board of Education for more than a decade, including multiple stints as the president. And he has spent years volunteering as a youth coach and board member. Perhaps most importantly, Mr. Conlon is a huge fan and supporter of the students of Greenwich. It is now my great pleasure to welcome Mr. Conlon to the podium to speak to the class of 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Neese. And Kate, I think if I could tell my 18-year-old something, it would be that thing you think is a bad idea, probably is, but you're going to survive it, and you're going to learn and grow from it. Class of 2026, congratulations. I've watched many of you grow up, engaged with this school and community, work hard, and achieve. In classrooms and gyms, on stages and fields, and in front of audiences and judges. And for others, you've grown out of the spotlight. Your efforts weren't always visible, but they were seen. Tonight, we recognize and celebrate all of you. To the families, breathe deep. You've made it. For as long as I've served on the Board of Education, and it was a long time as Mr. Neese referenced, I was often asked, why do you do it? Isn't it a thankless job? My answer was always simple and sincere, not in Greenwich. And that is because of families like you, your support, your involvement, and the tremendous human beings you raise and send to this school. Our staff, you show up with energy and passion. You give our students the tools, resources, and support they need to grow and succeed. The result sits right here in front of us and will carry forward for years to come. Thank you. Now, back to the class of 2026. When I was asked to speak tonight, it was on the heels of Coach Lynette's commencement last year. He was awesome. There was great humanity in his message. He is also smarter than I am, better looking, and better dressed. I think he had an American flag jacket last year. He looked good. And his daughters, a focus of his speech, were total GCS rock stars. Great students, great athletes, and involved. Now, I love my kids. They're great. But when it came to school, getting them out the door on time and turning in homework felt like wins. When asked to speak in front of his teammates, coaches, and parents at a banquet, my son asked for permission to swear and did. I'm not sure he ever got the permission he was looking for. And when I suggested one of them read a book, the response was, "Are you serious? I don't even like to read text messages." So I thought, thanks, Mr. Neese. Way to set me up to fail. Of course, I'm not Coach Lynette, and the truth is our kids and all of you are different. In our house, the only test we ever hung on the refrigerator was a 78 on a chemistry exam. There were higher grades, there were other accomplishments, but few things were harder earned than that 78. And in my book, hard earned is always enough, something to be proud of, something to celebrate. And that's the main point I want to share with you tonight. Everyone here has taken a different path. Your experiences up until this point have helped shape you. They don't define you. There's so much ahead, both good and difficult. But tonight, be proud. Graduating is an accomplishment. Know that you leave Greenwich better prepared for what comes next, wherever and whatever that might be. I say that as someone who once sat where you sit now. And like you, I was terribly bored and hoped the person speaking would finish quickly. So I'll keep my advice short and simple. 1, work. Nothing earned comes without effort. 2, strive. Complacency won't move you forward. 3, achieve. Even small wins stack. They build confidence, strength, and momentum. But most important, chase opportunities. Don't wait until you feel ready. You never will be, at least not fully. And don't wait for permission. You don't need it. Because if you want something, it's within reach. It just asks something of you. This winter, I watched a girls' basketball game. One of our players got knocked down. She got back up, went to the official, and while some may say she argued, I say she advocated for herself. I remember thinking, good for her. I hope she carries that fight into everything she does. Because life and opportunity ask something of you. It's for you to care enough and believe enough to step forward, to try again and again, as much as needed. Not to be the best, but to be your best, to stack your wins. One of my favorite work experiences was interviewing Paralympic skier Bonnie St. John, the first African American to win medals at the Winter Paralympics. She told me, the conditions on race day were terrible. There was a patch of ice every skier fell on, every skier. She said, I didn't win my medal because I was the best or the fastest. I won because I got up the quickest. I've seen that spirit in so many of you, that get back up spirit, that keep going spirit. Don't lose it. Carry it forward with purpose and in the way that is true to you, because it matters. Class of 2026, your path will not look like anyone else's for many reasons, but mostly because it is uniquely yours. Yours to shape, walk, and own, yours to share, and in the only way you can, yours to achieve. So go do it, and know that the community that helped form you now stands behind you, tonight, tomorrow, and beyond. Congratulations, and good luck. You're welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Conlon. It's now my great pleasure to welcome Superintendent of Schools, Dr. Jen Steinley, to the podium.
I bring my own speech up here. I don't trust him. Kidding, I do. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to begin first by recognizing the members of the Board of Education. Some are here with us this evening. First, President Amy Wise Foster. Trustee and Vice President Heather Madison. Trustee Marie Grimke, and Trustee Dr. Aaron Elkins. Mr. Thomas Powers is not able to be with us tonight. Thank you all for your service and commitment to our school community. I'd also like to extend my thanks and recognition to Principal Neese, Assistant Principal Cronin, Elementary Principal Record, and Assistant Principal Herbst, and Director of Pupil Personnel Services, Ms. Whitman. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it very much. Now, graduates, I do have some stories to tell, per usual. First, though, I want to thank Isabel Miller for her generosity in donating her beautiful self-portrait. Many of you may have seen it in the hallways. It's really beautiful. It's going to be added to the superintendent's conference room in the permanent art gallery, and we really, really appreciate it. I'm also exceptionally grateful for her rendition of the national anthem on so many occasions in the school year, especially on Little League opening and softball opening morning, when she asked me to guard her from all of you. She had goggles on her head and made me scan the field to make sure she was safe to sing the national anthem. Well done, Izzy. Very good. Very nice. But she did. No seniors got her that day. Over the last 4 years, I've watched you all change. Your plans have changed, your interests have changed, your confidence changed. But do you know what hasn't changed? Your glorious, distinctive personalities. This class is persistent. Perhaps no one demonstrated that more than Hudson Logan. You knew I was going to start with this, didn't you? You had to know. Okay. So for those of you who don't know, Hudson led the charge in having this ceremony out here tonight. Oh, just wait, there's more. There's so much more. So he started, and he very politely asked me and was trying to convince me to overturn our cabinet decision. We were going to have it indoors. And I said no. I was going to stand by the cabinet's decision. And you would think that someone accept defeat. No, not Hudson, not this class. So first came the petition. Every single one of them signed it. It was delivered to my office. And then within 24 hours, the barrage of emails started. One after the other after the other. And every one of them I'd say, I have to sleep on this, I need to think it through. They didn't care. They wanted to meet with me and really explain their point. But then the in-person lobbying came. Every time I entered the high school or any event, someone from this class would suddenly appear out of nowhere and suddenly tell me all of the reasons why we had to have graduation out here so that their long-lost relatives, cousins, seconds, aunts on her father's side would be able to attend. So I hope that, Brooke, I hope your long-lost second cousin's grandmother from Ireland is here tonight. Thank you, Aunt Betty, because I'm sure it really mattered, right? Lots of space, guys. So when those efforts weren't enough, they sent in Emily. And for those of you who know Emily's side-eye look, you understand why I was slightly concerned for my safety, just a little. I've also seen her do that on the basketball court, to refs, other people, maybe your parents, whatever. There's no judgment. But either way, I was frightened. So there are negotiators, and there's Emily. She won me over. Thank you, Emily. The ceremony's lovely. That persistence, I learned, became a defining characteristic of this entire class. This class, though, is more than just persistent. You all are a collection of unforgettable cast of characters that keep me on my toes always. Brady Clifton demonstrated remarkable empathy this winter when he repeatedly suggested ad nauseum that I close the schools several days before a snowstorm that they were predicting. Not because the roads were bad. Oh no, it was not snowing. It was not raining. It was a beautiful winter night, but they were predicting it 3 or 4 days out. He told me he didn't want everybody to be stressed out waiting for me to make my decision. Okay. Riley DeLuca showed such poise and confidence when presenting the FFA Creed before the Board of Education this year. Public speaking is not easy to do, and it's something many adults would rather avoid entirely, and she did it with grace. Other students taught me that authenticity is irreplaceable. Olivia Reisel somehow managed to be both a fierce soccer goalie but also someone who missed the pep rally because she had a nail appointment. Yeah, that's balance. You can stop a penalty kick, but do not interrupt a manicure. Got it. Langston Hall, holy moly, he reminded us of a very important lesson that we learned in kindergarten. Tie your shoes. Can you please check them right now before you walk up on this stage? During a basketball game, play had to be stopped, not once, but twice, because his shoes kept coming untied. So apparently, everything we need to know, we really did learn in kindergarten, Langston. Keep practicing. Maddie Geneva gave new meaning to the word endurance on a bus trip to a field hockey game in Camden. I don't know how many hours it was, almost 3 each way, I think. If talking were an Olympic sport, she earned a gold medal. I know everything about her entire family. God bless you all. Will and Jacob convinced me to play ultimate frisbee this fall. I had forgotten I'd had a knee replacement surgery just before it. Looking back, I'm not sure how I got talked into that, but somehow this class gets us to say yes to things we wouldn't ordinarily do. Olivia and Ari once informed me that they were going to toilet paper Mr. Neese's and Mr. Cronin's house. Thankfully, they decided against it. But then they were so concerned that my feelings would be hurt because they didn't know where I lived and they couldn't do it to my house. I certainly appreciate the thoughtfulness. Equal opportunity mischief is still mischief, but at least you guys are inclusive. Other memorable moments that I really enjoyed this year was visiting Peyton at her cosmetology program. It was a lovely experience, and I felt so much pride being there with her. But it was much less stressful than when Carmia canceled my hair appointment from her program very unexpectedly for something referred to as senior skip day. I don't know what that is. Carm, some betrayals cut deeper than others. Never mess with a woman's hair. Ryan and Levi demonstrated a skill that so many adults and maybe some of my administrators have perfected: strategically ignoring my emails. Despite my request to have them speak with Channel 10 News on Drive Your Tractor to School Day. Oh, you're smirking, Levi. You know this story. Yeah, okay. Somehow those messages didn't rise to the top of their inboxes. I don't know how that happens. They're very busy, they told me. Thankfully, Cade Blanchett stepped up quietly and took the mic. He was very happy to take the interviews, although I shouldn't say quietly. He was more concerned about staying out and doing all of the interviews so he didn't have to go to class. I'm sure he was just being helpful. Jason Carlo. Well, Jason Carlo is just Jason Carlo, and I love that about you. I've loved watching you perform this year, but I've also seen your Instagram posts, and maybe that's a story for another time, friend. As I look out at all of you tonight, I realize that each of you is memorable, not because you fit into the same mold, but because you refuse to. I could stand here and tell stories about probably all of you, but Mr. Neese is probably already upset that I've taken too long and talked about too many personal stories. You've changed over these 4 years. You've grown, you've adapted, and your dreams have evolved. But through it all, you've remained yourselves. In a world that constantly pressures people to fit in, your greatest strength may be your willingness to stand out. Class of 2026, be who you are. You may not be for everyone, but the right people, the right opportunities, and the right community will value exactly who you are. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dr. Steinle. First row, please stand. Kate L. Fowler. Kendall Grace Hamilton. Hudson Samuel Logan. Ryan James Armitage. Andrew N. Bapty. Alexis Morgan Bell. Caden J. Bentley. Jonathan Bissett. Cade T. Blanchett. Juliana Grace Bramer. Owen Joseph Brockway. Jet Bruce. Jason Aaron Carlo. Joseph H. Carnett. Wyatt Martin Carey. Brady Nicholas Clifton. Peyton Elizabeth Colby. Jaden Joseph Robert Conlin. Michael Shepard Cronin. Liam R. Curley. Lila Victoria Curtis. Olivia Grace Davis. Riley Barbara DeLuca. Ariana Jasmine Derby. Amelia Dobson. Hunter Allen Dupuy. Peyton Roger Ellis. Madison Mary Genevic. Alexis Godfrey. Harmony Sage Goman. Emily Gonzalez. Langston Curtis Hall. Sarah Hall. Avery Grace Juarez. Taylor Mackenzie Hoffman. Reese Addison Hunt. Ryan James Ingber. Kylie Marie Girac. Mackenzie Ivy Kier. Brooke E. Kuzmic. Kaylee Caitlin LaRock. Hazen Lilly. McKenna Jean Lindecker. Melody Mathis. Eliza Jane McQueen. Isabel Ann Miller. Jonathan Patrick Morency. Levi Stewart Murray. Max Doyle Nichols. Julie Nolan. Jacob Olmert. Sarah Jane Radovich. Olivia C. Rizel. Ernesto Reyes Arana. Humberto Reyes Arana. Sadie Elizabeth Reifenberg. Jack Tucker Sieska. Adam Daniel Shumway. Caden Joe Sloan. Aiden James Smilak. Bridget Smith. Ella Catherine Smith. Caden Scott Special. Bradley E. Spezio. Lauren Yvonne Stark. Colin John Traver. Jessica Marie Viscusi. Alicia Jane Waite. William E. Weber. Braden John Wilbur. Bailey R. Wolf. Jordan L. Wolf. Tristan Forrest Wood. Carmia Lynn Woods. I now invite Senior Class President Hudson Logan and Isabel Miller up to the front to lead the class of 2026 in the singing of our alma mater. You will find the words to the alma mater in the inside back cover of this evening's program. Graduates, please rise.
Let me make sure it's at the right one. Ready, guys? Upon a hill in broad expanse, GCSD nobly lies, with love and knowledge to us all, she joyfully supplies. She stands for all that's good and true, ever must be. As true to her ideals as she would always have us be. Oh, Greenwich High, we sing to you, our praises now sing high. To you we give our loyalty and faith that will not die. Woo!
Thank you. Hudson will now lead the class of 2026 in the moving of the tassel. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the Greenwich Central School District graduated class of 2026.